Show Me News.
And now, coming through your speakers and into your ears, it's the gaming podcast that you all know and love. It's Show Me News.
Welcome to Show Me Your News, the pinnacle for delivering and debating the gaming news that matters the most to you.
Rumor-filled gossip, hardware blunders, or upcoming releases.
If it relates to video games, we want to talk about it.
I am Yoko, and I am so close to beating Okami.
I am Super, and I haven't even started Okami.
I'm Tony, and I beat Okami a while ago.
All about the Okami. Super needs to play Okami if he thinks he's a Zelda fan.
You should, actually.
I should have had it, but I lost it somewhere, so it's one of those things, it's like, I'll get around to it once I find it again.
We'll talk about on what are you playing next week, but we are part of the Show Me Your News network, and our top stories today for episode 129 of the podcast on Saturday, March 2nd, 2013. Sony revealed the PlayStation 4. We kind of had a podcast where we had like our immediate effects, but we'll get to hear Super's thoughts and some, other things that have surfaced since then in the week and a half since that happened. Bungie also revealed their game Destiny, so that's pretty big for Halo fans to see the original company go on and do new, bold, big things.
I like them vehicles.
There you go. The new Assassin's Creed game for consoles leaked. And interesting details about that. We'll talk about that. On the same Assassin's Creed note, Fox News. There's a story that always ends well. We've got our story pool. We've got some soapboxes and out recently thoughts. It's going to be a good show. So we have no guest this week. Here the Easter egg to explain why. We'll kind of go in a little bit of detail there. But let's start off with the big thing. The next generation of consoles is upon us. As if it weren't already with the Wii U, then other gamers get to make this statement now that Sony has revealed the PlayStation 4. Super, I wanted to get your thoughts on it because, Tony and I, we talked about it. We had, about 10 total Smynjas on this Immediate Reactions podcast. It was about 45 minutes. A good listen if you wanted to hear what we thought right after the show.
That was nuts.
It was pretty nuts, but we made it work. What about your thoughts on the PS4, Super?
Old man heads.
Old man heads. Indeed.
I understand why they chose an old man head. It just looked creepy as hell. That's all wrinkly and stuff, so you wanted to show that off.
It did look really good, though.
Yeah, good creepiness. I really like a lot of the social network things they're kind of putting in.
Mm-hmm.
Like the streaming made me like, I want that. I want that.
Yeah.
But and Killzone looked really cool. But having recently played Killzone again, I just don't like how it feels on that controller. Speaking of the controller, it just looks a lot like a mix between. It looks like the other parent of the Wii U Pro controller. You have the Xbox controller, and you have this DualShock 4. They had a baby, and it was the Wii U Pro controller.
Yeah.
I suppose.
That's what it looks like to me, and it's definitely got a lot of the same curves as the Xbox 360 controller, which I found kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
But
the D-pad is much better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That goes without saying, but then again, I don't want to play anything that uses a D-pad, or where a D-pad is very important.
Right.
But just
Any
looking
2D game.
at that point, I'm just kind of like, a control stick works just as well.
Yeah.
It really does.
I could argue all day with you on this one. It's harder to precisely up and down.
But why would you need to in a lot of 2D games?
Spin dash.
Again, I can just press down on the control stick. I don't ever mess that up. I don't go, oh, that's screwed up. The only time that ever really pisses me off is in Sonic Generations, but that's because of the classic Sonic's control scheme, and not because of the fact that I'm using a control stick.
Okay.
What do we make of the touchpad in the center there?
We're getting way off base.
Nah. Tangents? What? No, it looks so small.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't know what you're going to be able to do with that thing.
Yeah, I just look at this and go like, I want to touch something, but at the same time, it's kind of like I might hit like whatever else is there because there's just not a whole lot of space here.
Well, it doesn't look to be an actual screen, so I don't know if things are actually going to be displayed. Just more of a pad to maybe navigate certain things smoother if you wanted to rotate. I don't know, because
It's very odd. It just what it looks like to me is one of those those signs you see driving down the highway that says like icy roads ahead.
Yeah.
kind of billboard, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, it just looks like one of those little billboards, and I'm just kind of like, if I'm in a driving game and it goes icy roads ahead on there, I will be ecstatic, to be
Yeah,
honest. I'll be like, this is really neat. Otherwise, I'm
Bring
just gonna
back VMU technology.
There
Yeah.
you go.
That thing was badass for real. Somebody should have brought that back by now.
Mhm.
Yeah. Looking at this right now, the touchpad for me looks like something that you can put that's really small and basic and take it off your screen to make it less cluttered. Mini maps and like radars.
But does
Those-
it display?
I don't know. I don't think
I don't
it does.
I don't either.
If it doesn't display at all, then screw that noise. But it looks like, I mean, just looking at it, it looks like it would brighten up a little bit in some places.
Perhaps.
Hard to
I
say.
like the concept of the share button.
Yep.
The ability to, play back or just. We were talking about during the immediate reactions. Like, how many times has it happened where you have a really cool moment during gameplay, and you're like, I wish I'd recorded that.
Too many.
And that's perfect for that. I mean, it takes like the last 15 minutes of gameplay. You can edit it down to whatever you need, share it with friends, Facebook. I'm sure YouTube is ultimately going to be some sort of integration there.
So
I'm
much
sure-
junk data on the internet after this console comes
Yeah.
out.
I'm gonna laugh.
pretty true.
Tony's probably gonna hate me if I get a PS4 and do and this because he'll just keep on seeing his inbox full of this crap.
Mm,
Yeah.
It's like, hey Tony, this is me being better than you.
Yeah, probably.
I got this new record on the next Sonic game that's coming out. The share button also for, like you said, for streaming, and the interesting idea of having players be able to, watch current gameplay of anyone on their friends list who is streaming, and participate, take over the controls if the player allows.
That is cool, but at the same time, again, I'm gonna bring up the idea of me and Tony kind of playing. If I enter his thing and watch him do it, I'm going to troll the hell out of him.
Oh, sure.
Oh, yeah.
And one thing that's really going to happen is that if there's like a little button where I could just kind of go, "Hey, Super would like to take over for this part," and it would just keep on showing up.
That's true.
Just kind of like he's just playing, and everything's like really dramatic, and it just says, "Super wants to take over."
Live game grumps. Everyone just
Mhm.
wants to play because they're bad.
Mhm.
See that last Shin-Chan episode? They had a meter for, viewers are getting pissed because we're not going the right way.
Mhm. In reaction to the Naughty Bear episode,
Yeah.
which I didn't think was that bad. I mean, I've seen Naughty Bear played. My buddy liked the game actually.
What?
Yeah, he just thought it was kind of funny. It was just a kind of stupid little
Horrible.
distraction.
Horribly spirited. I didn't know
Oh,
what
yeah.
to think of that thing.
It was terribly spirited, but it was a nice little distraction, and I watched him play, and it's all right.
I like
It's
the
ter-
cold open to the
It's
second
not
episode.
good.
So
Yeah,
last thing on the controller.
Yeah.
What do we think of the colored pad at the front?
The what?
Yeah.
There is a pad at the front of the controller. In a lot of the mock-ups, it is colored blue.
Yep.
But it represents what the ball at the end of the Move controller would represent.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
because they have a camera that is very Kinect-like to track this object on the controller in 3D space. No idea what they're going to use for it or how they're going to implement it.
If
Just
I
light movement.
Yeah,
Probably.
I just like looking at that. The first thing that comes to my mind is aircraft,
Ooh.
kind of like controlling using your controller as basically a stick, pilot's controls in an airplane.
And maybe.
So dipping it down, you control the yaw on it. So I actually want to look. I'm actually kind of looking forward to that piece because it's still a controller.
Yeah,
It's
that was the
still a
problem.
controller.
That was the problem with the Wii.
That was the problem with the move and everything else. It's just kind of like I want a controller in my hand.
Yeah, I don't mind some motion like stuff, but when it's
Mhm.
like the focus, it's like okay, this doesn't work. We've had a whole generation to realize that.
Mm-hmm.
Big
DS
thing
had
is
that.
the system's coming holiday 2013. That's important to get it out this year. But we didn't see the actual system itself. Do you care?
Nope.
Nope.
Oh, good. Neither do I. But apparently the internet thinks that's a big deal.
I think
I
I
don't-
did back in the day, and I kind of
Back in the day.
aesthetically, but now I'm just like, well, what's it do? Okay, good. Like that's the main concern.
I just think about like the Wii U. We
Mhm.
saw we saw that thing and no one cared.
'Cause it's a box.
Mm-hmm. It's a box. The only thing I even could begin to care about is the fact that I wonder if this fits in my gaming cabinet. If it's giant as hell, I'm gonna probably be a little pissed. Because, like, my Xbox here in this little nightstand that I use, it fits really well.
Mhm.
But if it's any bigger than that, and this is the new age Xbox, which means my old one wasn't going to fit, it's as if the PS3 is bigger than that, that's gonna probably get me a little miffed.
Yeah. Gosh, what to think of? I mean, you had also people from Xbox, Major Nelson for Xbox. Is point of joking or trolling like, oh, so I heard that Sony revealed their next console this evening. Why didn't we see it? I can understand the thought that maybe some people want to see what some of the specs are, like how many USB ports will be on there. Is it USB 3? Are they making that jump? Like these kind of things, maybe just to see that part of the box. But
Maybe
there's
Sony lost a bet.
there's a little event in 3 months. It's called the Electronic Entertainment Expo. You think they're going to show all their cards before that?
Yeah,
don't-
really.
I don't know.
They got to have something.
Where's those Xbox exclusives, Major Nelson? Show me that.
Well, the rumor has it that either at the end of this month or in April, they're going to do a similar kind of event. They've started planning web space for
Yeah, I saw that.
xboxevent.com. So get ready to hear talks about that on future episodes of Show Me Your News. But E3 is probably going to be more about the games. We saw some games like Clank with the
That was
the giant from Birdemic talking about it. I mean, his name is Mark Cerny.
Nah. Nah.
I thought.
Nah.
Now I haven't seen that name in a while, so I thought you meant Clank like Ratchet, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Actually, considering how the protagonist moves around and stuff like that, Clank would have been a lot cooler.
Yeah.
Like the whole mechanics of the game and how they set things up, that looks interesting. It really does. The protagonist,
I'm sorry, it's not Clank, it's Knack.
yeah,
Yeah,
we said that earlier.
you got me. I
I
wasn't thinking too hard about it.
I was reading Knack, so I wasn't even paying attention to what you were saying, obviously. But but no, it's like the game really looks interesting. The protagonist, on the other hand, is unique, but that's not good. It looks kind of ugly, and I don't want to be it.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody said it looked like a tech demo. Somebody trying to make a game. It's all the floating parts and whatnot. Real quickly, Square trolled the hell out of me.
Oh god, yeah.
I don't know if anyone else really cared as much, but oh my god, they had the guy come out and they just showed a lot of people too when they showed that video were like, oh, it's the same video from E3, and it wasn't. It was the same game world, but it was a different video, and I'm like, oh, that's cool, that's pretty, I guess.
I'm pretty sure that was the same video.
No, it wasn't.
Really? For Agnes Philosophy?
Promise.
Okay.
I mean,
it was
I didn't
very,
look it
very
up,
similar.
It was the same character and world, yeah, but it was a different video. As I remember, very different imagery. But yeah, this, and then he's like, but before I go, I would like to introduce head Square guy, and this guy comes out
All the way
He
from
talks-
Japan. All the way from Japan.
and he talks super slow, and he's like, we announced new Final Fantasy in development. I'm like almost having a fucking heart attack. Sorry. I just woke up. I'm not in. But I think the language serves here. And I'm like, what? Whoa. Is it going to be 15 or 7? God forbid. And he talked so slow. He came all the way to make this announcement. And he's like, see you at E3. Good. Good. Thanks for that.
Moving on with the conference. It was a ridiculous moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like 2 games later in the Show Me News Skype chat, I'm like, guys, I'm still pissed. I'm not over it.
The other games they talked about, Killzone Shadowfall, looks quite good. The Witness from Jonathan Blow, finally something about it. New Infamous game, Infamous Second Son. Couldn't be Infamous 3 because of reasons. Because of spoilery reasons.
Maybe, I don't know.
Watch Dogs tech demo, or not tech demo, another demo. Watch Dogs Demo 2 was quite neat, and that'll be also out on PlayStation 4 at launch.
Let's be honest here. Something about that Watch Dogs demo probably wasn't what Sony was trying to do, because I seem to recall that Watch Dogs was confirmed for Wii U at this conference.
It was confirmed from the news that came out after the conference, but not at the actual show directly, which of course it's huge news, very big. And then there's also thoughts that the next Splinter Cell also might be getting a Wii U treatment. So Ubisoft, after they're taking a dump on Rayman, might actually be starting to consider the Wii U. We can't say the same for EA right now. That's a whole other issue.
It's just a thing where they're like, let's just get Watch Dogs on the conference. I like that game, probably.
Well, then they had Blizzard come out, and it hasn't been the best kept secret that Diablo 3 has been running on consoles in their offices, but they announced Diablo 3 coming to PS3 and PS4. So
I feel like, I don't know, like with that and Watch Dogs, I don't know if it's, well, with Watch Dogs, I mean, it kind of has to, because it's going to come out on the other ones. I don't know if it coming out on the 3 is going to help them a whole lot, because everyone's just like, well, we can still get it. And I don't know how much better it's going to look with something like that,
Yeah. I mean, other really cool things about the conference that I'm excited about, play PS4 games on your Vita with remote play. I'm very happy I have a Vita now with news like this. The cloud gaming thing with Gaikai, that could be very cool to play, the demos from the store and have it just go. Or, the very small load times. In general, the possibility to have the all the backlog, because the system won't be backwards compatible with PS3 discs, and that makes sense because it's structured very much like a PC as opposed to the cell processor of the PS3. But to have the cloud gaming with Gaikai to play PS1, PS2, PS3, all those on PS4, that'd be like their dream. That's really cool.
I'm just very curious on the fee of each game, if we own it or something.
That's a good point.
What was the Vita remote play? I know you can play most of the games on the Vita, but can you...
Well, you currently can't play PS3 games on your Vita. I think you can use the Vita as a controller, but you can't push the video to the Vita to do the whole Wii U off TV play. That's what they're trying to do with this.
That's great, but I just want it the other way, and that really pisses me off. It's like,
that would be really cool too, yeah.
Still can't beat on the TV. Okay, I don't care. DS bothers me too with that, but I mean, I kind of understand with how it's laid out.
Yeah.
Blah.
Yeah, a lot of news. So we have the show notes in there. Take a look at all the different articles from Kotaku. The jokes. Yeah, the good joke was the video. Like the abridged version.
Oh, that was good.
That was a pretty good one. Gosh, what else is here? I don't know. I'm personally really excited about it.
I am too. Money though.
I'm already
with all
saving
this
up.
stuff. With all this stuff, because I don't even have a Wii U yet.
Yeah,
that's true.
I'm waiting for that one.
I'm focusing on getting a 3DS first.
Good
call. Totally.
Because of the March thing.
What's March? Mansion?
It's March as if you buy a Wii, if you buy a 3DS in March, like after like the 16th or the 17th, you get like a free game. It's like you get a game come with it or something like that, but you also get to download like Super Mario 3D Land or something like that.
Yeah.
You get your choice of 5 different games to download.
Where's that at?
There's something that Nintendo
GameStop?
teased in their last what's it called? The last Nintendo Direct. So it's probably something like you register a serial number for a 3DS XL on their Club Nintendo site, and then they probably go from there.
Oh, I might have to do that to, because I do want an XL, so that might be a good chance to do that.
Mm-hmm. For sure. I don't know. We'll see more stuff about the PS4 pop up over this year, but for now, your move, Microsoft.
You said move.
I did say move. You know a game that's not using the. You know a game that's not using the move. That's Bungie's new game, Destiny.
Hopefully it doesn't.
Oh god,
Well-
that would be awful.
Well, it is using first-person shooter elements, and it is using massively multiplayer online elements. But don't
But it's
call it.
not one.
Don't call it a first-person shooter MMO.
But it's not.
It's not?
It's a shared world shooter
Uh-huh.
because
Yep.
they're trying to get away from all those stereotypes, I guess. Apparently, coming next year for the PS3 and Xbox 360 and PS4, and that fact surprised me that it's still for PS3 and PS4 because the scope and the plan for this game seems just much bigger. They have a 10-year plan for this game, and wouldn't you think that would work better on a next generation system?
They're wowing the hell out of this, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Super, you're the biggest Halo fan among us.
I am.
You've had thoughts about 343 taking up the
Halo
Halo
mantle.
4 reigns.
hmm
What about Bungie working on this kind of project? What do you think about it?
I am cautious. Bungie has done very well in basically every game that they've put out. I mean, there's been a couple things out there, but generally they've been doing pretty well. The more I look into this, I'm thinking, boy, do they really have the resources for something like this? I know they got picked up by Activision, but at this point in time, they haven't shown me enough.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you read these things. It has just going down the 7 pillars. An interesting world you want to spend time in. Duh. It has to be fun. Duh. Offering rewards gamers care about. That's going to be a little bit careful, but I can see them pulling that off. A new unexpected experience every night. That seems, you could do it. It sounds like they're trying to make FPS Journey.
Huh? Yeah, it's a kind of a good comparison, actually.
Because you go through the world and you're not going to meet with every single person in your area who is all playing in that game at once. You're going to be connected with certain people who are playing the game in that area, but not all of them. Because, honestly, if you think about it, day one, everyone's going to be in the same planet area.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of
It's
people.
gonna- you're going to walk 2 steps and run into someone. Otherwise, so I'm pretty sure you're going to be limited to roughly around 4 people in the same area at any given time. Maybe more. I'm not sure. I haven't done as much research into this as I would have liked, but in all, I really couldn't get FPS Journey out of my head the entire time. And
It's not a bad thing, though.
no, it's not a bad thing. In games like this, character movement is the most important thing. You have to have your good character movement at every single moment. Do you know what I'm talking about here?
Mm-hmm.
Just your machines, all of your vehicles, all have to be awesome.
Yeah, they can't just be clunky walking.
Yeah,
Like you just
but
gotta
it has to be fast.
go.
Like if you're building a galaxy, if you're building worlds, you're going to have a lot of players who are going to want to run really fast. You're going to have to make things spread out just enough so where it's really interesting, and you can get those amazing skyboxes that Bungie is known for, while still not making me run a half an hour to get to my destination. Hell, 3 minutes is too long. 30 seconds is pushing it for a lot of gamers.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to run fast. You're going to have the ability to run fast. Honestly, oddly enough, I'm bringing this up. If you've ever played Unreal Tournament 3, honestly, I didn't hear, is it 3 or 4? Might be 4. I'm not 100% sure anymore.
Yeah.
But you had the ability to run around, and you were quick. But you also had this secondary ability, like if you press X, you just basically pull out this hoverboard out of nowhere. And you just start going. But, if you get shot, you fall off the hoverboard, and you have to go through this animation to pick yourself up. That's a good risk-reward thing. That's a good, I need to get to point B very quickly, and, I'm not in a fight scene at the moment, so let's just, hop on my good old hoverboard, and off I go!
Yeah.
That's what I really want to see from this, is I don't care about enemies, I don't care about spacefaring at the current moment. I want to see that they get the basics done right. Because it's really easy to drop the ball on just the most basic things when you're trying to shoot for the stars.
Seems pretty as hell, though.
Oh, it really does. It does look pretty. And, I think Bungie's got a good pedigree that they can hopefully pull that off. I don't know. Like, is it a game that I'm interested in? Like, I'll keep an eye on it. But, again, I'm not sure. Like, I've never really gravitated much towards the FPS genre. I mean, Borderlands is an exception. Borderlands it just plays very, very well. But am I looking for an experience that is so vast and multiplayer and all that stuff? Not particularly. I think Journey was an exception because it was a rather linear experience and it was quick, and that was a nice aspect to it, is that you had that partner ability. But we'll keep an eye on it. I just haven't been grabbed yet to say do want. Tony, what about you?
Same. I'm just not a multiplayer shooter guy, but I mean, I am interested in it. I just kind of want to wait and see too.
Yeah.
I think the strength is going to be in not its dungeon raids or even its player-to-player combat. I think its greatest strength is going to be how fun it is to go from place to place.
Yeah, I mean, because there are going to be places to go to, all the different galaxies. Some of them looks very, they look very Mass Effect-ish.
Yeah.
So that'll be really interesting.
It should just be Minecraft in space.
There you go.
That's already a thing.
Oh.
I mean, they already built that sphere on the world, the Traveler, or whatever it's called. Whatever they're building their lore. It's still early. As far as our third headline, Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, a.k.a. a very badly kept secret this past week.
Yeah, they Sonic teamed the hell out of this one.
They showed the game to journalists. There were some reports of even, on an airplane, someone, overseeing a laptop of someone in front of him, and she's working on a PowerPoint. Granted, it was called, there was Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flags, like flags plural. But still, Ubisoft hasn't done the best job, because then we, see posters being sent out to, game shops and all that, and people take pictures of that. And so that's reported on. Then, Ubisoft goes out and confirms it, but they're like, oh, well, we've got this event on Monday, March 4th, and that's at noon Eastern or 6 CET, and that's in Europe, Central European time. So we see the box art and all, but then today happened, and someone went and leaked that trailer that was going to be on their website. Not only that, but someone else on the website actually put out the text that pre-order the game on October 29th, or the game going to be released for October 29th. But yeah, now we have the trailer out there now.
I didn't know that. Did that happen today?
That just happened today, a couple hours ago.
Yeah, I was asleep, so I didn't see it.
And it got taken down very quickly. But I don't know how many mirrors are up there. I haven't actually seen it, but people have reported the details, and it does confirm the suspicion that the assassin is Edward Kenway, who would be Haytham's father. Looking in like the 1715 area, he's a pirate above everything else. So this goes with the rumors that the game is going to focus a little more on the ship sailing if it's very pirate-based. Do not want.
Neither do I.
Tony, I think you can agree with me. This is not something that Assassin's Creed is based on.
No.
So they got critical review for saying that it was one of the best recreations of this kind of gameplay ever, which I think is fair. I think that's accurate.
Yeah. I don't think it's a bad system or a bad thing, but
it wasn't fun.
It
wasn't fun. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
You could make the argument, I suppose, but like if it was like if Mario just did like a whole different like kind of gameplay feel.
Right. It's not fun in the context that like, oh, I could be running around being an assassin. Instead, I'm stuck on a ship, vulnerable, but I also have cannons. I think Ubisoft kind of got that success going to their head, and they're like, well, let's make a new game that emphasizes this. When, in the last game for Assassin's Creed 3, it was in a couple missions. There were optional side missions, but you maybe had to do that like 3 or 4 times. And then I went and played Sly 3, and it's like, oh god, this kind of gameplay is so bad.
I don't understand it. Zero Punctuation pointed out, and it sounds very shallow. Like, I don't want to sound like the gamer, but he just brought it up. It's like, how come I can't just stab things again? You're like taking me away from stabbing things, and it's like, yeah, that worked. That was fun.
It's pretty true. Logos on the bottom were for PS3, PS4, Xbox 360, Wii U, and PC. October 29th. The 4 is stylized as the IV, as opposed to the number 4. But yeah, I like the Edward Kenway inclusion. I think it kind of keeps it in the same things. There can be a lot of references maybe to what happens in 3. I think the big question is, what is the overarching story going to continue to do?
See, here's my... I know how odd this sounds, but why is it Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag?
I could not tell you, and I think that's a mistake. But it might also be because games with numbers sell better. And
well, you had Assassin's Creed, and Assassin's Creed 2, and Assassin's Creed 3, but all the other side stories were Assassin's Creed 2 Brotherhood, Assassin's Creed 2 whatever.
Oh, they weren't.
Technically not.
They didn't have numbers in those.
Whatever. I mean, you had your main
it's
series.
still different.
All of your main series were Assassin's Creed 1, 2, 3, and now we have 4 with a subtitle.
Yeah, that doesn't.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Then, like, why should, by that logic, God of War should have had, God of War 4 Ascension, or Gears of War 4 Judgment. Mm-hmm. It is strange. And I kind of worry that they're really milking the franchise to be bone dry. Especially if this ship thing or this game just doesn't pan out that well, that's trouble.
No. It's not even milking it, because they did like one really, really good game, and then they're like, let's deviate from that a lot every other game.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like not even been milked yet. It's a lot like Paper Mario, where they're like, okay, we got this really, really good ideas. Let's get rid of a lot of them and change some stuff. And it's like, no, milk it a lot more first before you start doing that. I'm sick of that.
I think I saw a tweet somewhere, and it's pretty accurate that, okay, before people next time people give the Legend of Zelda crap for just churning out game after game after game, here's Assassin's Creed. I think it's pretty accurate.
Pretty much.
So I'm excited about the protagonist. I do not want or could not care about any of the ship stuff.
I couldn't care about anything else, because they got rid of the overarching thing too. So it's like, okay, why do I care? You gave me Haytham's dad, but that's it. You're giving me more naval combat, and you kind of screwed up the overarching story at the end of 3, where I just don't even care anymore. So I don't know.
But you got to be Jesus.
What?
I've heard a lot of, like, the end of Assassin's Creed 3. You're basically, your main character
Oh,
is a lot like Jesus.
don't know, but-
Yes and no.
I haven't
See-
played this
see-
series. I just hear, like, a lot of people, it's like, you're basically Jesus.
in the choice you make, kind of, but then you're kind of making it just because of how the series is. If people do kind of know about it, they'll think that you go back in time and you play as Jesus. That's not a good.
Dude.
Oh yeah.
That
By the
should
way,
be
we
good.
can't do a YouTube recommendation, but go look up Jesus Django parody on SNL because that was pretty funny.
Interesting. I'll have to check that out for sure. While we're on the subject of Assassin's Creed, Fox News. You may think, well, what? That doesn't make any sense. Well, as we'll talk about and out recently, the downloadable content for Assassin's Creed 3, the Tyranny of George Washington, that came out recently. And Fox News had an interesting article titled "French Company Releases Video Game Depicting George Washington as Villain to be Assassinated." Not the Founding Fathers!
Do we even assassinate him, or do we like chase him in a boat again? Because that's still not. I'm still not very psyched about that.
I don't know. I mean, I have the season pass, so technically I have access to this DLC, but I still have to get over Assassin's Creed 3 before I get back to it.
It still hurts.
I
Months
know.
later, it still hurts.
I know. And then now they're doing a new one. It's crazy.
It's funny because Sean has this conversation with Desmond about America being real butthurt about the founding fathers and just like
Mhm.
always defending them for no reason
I
without
love
thinking.
seeing that part in the game.
It was interesting to see another country's take on it and go, well, yeah.
That's pretty true. First of all, French company, just to label you Ubisoft as that, like, really?
Entertaining as hell.
I know, like, this fits their agenda, and it gets the views and everything, but
All the old people don't know.
Well, if they think that this is their attempt at journalism, it's not. It's in a way it's trolling.
Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta say, I am really in love with the image they have on Kotaku.
With let's see what
George Washington with a baguette and a beret, and it just goes, "we."
Oh.
I just love it.
Lance did that. That's funny.
I also like well, you got to read the article yourself because it shows all these different parts, and then logical gamer response. But talking about a day after the United States honored George Washington. oh, that's right, because it was President's Day, so it was a day after the United States honored George Washington because that was their plan all along to just release it right after that. A French software company released a video game that depicts the first president as a tyrant who hangs people and must be assassinated. And the response is like, that subtle xenophobia, the muted anger, written as if with trembling fingers and bulging eyeballs. How dare those goddamn frog eaters turn our first president evil?
Have you guys ever had frog?
No.
No.
Neither have I. I kind of
So
want
that
to
with
try
quite
it now.
remorse.
I kind of want to try it now.
Yeah, probably alright.
Not only that, they say that this is out for Nintendo Wii. Not Wii U, Nintendo Wii.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
I didn't see that.
good job there. Of course, it's a DLC expansion. It's not a video game. Yeah, in a way, like, it's a smart trolling, but it's also so frustrating, especially when I'm sure, for Americans and, the rest of the world just looks at this and says, seriously, what the hell? But Americans, I'm sure, know people, if they're not, themselves already, who watch Fox News. Can we stop giving them credibility in the gaming world? I know, we're talking about them and that brings it to the attention, but it's not for credibility's sake. It's for seriously, this is journalism to you. This is what you write about. This is worthy of your attention.
I'd rather just ignore them.
Fair enough.
Really, I just like for most of the time, I literally ignore Fox News as an existence.
Mm-hmm.
If I see it on TV, I switch to a different channel. If I have to switch to, say, TBS while playing the George Lopez show, I don't quite mind it, and I think, hey, this will probably get me better news.
George Lopez show is good.
I know.
Or
he said
the
something
late
else
night
to me.
show, or the.
I don't know.
I think we've had the same conversation.
We have.
Fox News should be getting on that Kindle commercial because that's actually progressive, so they should be hating on that instead. They wouldn't seen that.
No.
Oh, it's like this girl's on her Kindle, and this guy's on a tablet trying to read, and they're just kind of sitting on lawn chairs at the beach, and he just he couldn't read it, and he just was like, "Done. I ordered my Kindle." She's like, "Nice," and he's like, "How about we celebrate over some drinks?" And she's like, "Actually, my husband's getting some drinks." He's like, "Oh, cool. So is mine." And they cut out, and there's two guys getting drinks, and I'm like, "Well, that was clever."
Yeah.
And I'm like, I was waiting for Fox News. I'm like, "Where's the butt hurt? Where's anybody actually anything?"
That's
Gays
a good slogan for Fox News, I think. Where's the butt hurt?
Where's
I
the
like
butt hurt?
that.
Yeah, that's a cute commercial. But it did make me double take. I'm like, whoa, well, that was quite progressive for a commercial.
In fact, one of the comments on this article from Brian2799,
Yeah.
maybe they got him confused with Obama.
Maybe they did, Brian2799. Maybe they did.
Ubisoft releases a video game with evil George Washington. Thanks, Obama.
Yeah, thanks, Obama.
Oh, this is just awful, but still really entertaining from someone who's just like, yep, that Fox News. Good stuff.
The only villains that need to be assassinated are socialists. That would pretty much take care of the country of this game's origin.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
I thought we were talking about subtle xenophobia.
Yikes.
Subtle.
Give that a read if you want to laugh. It's in our show notes. The story pool, we've got several games here. This is almost my soapbox, but I'll breeze through this really quickly. We've got some rumors out there for Pokemon X and Y, which is still on track to be released in October. But details coming from 4chan, so you don't know how seriously you can take it. But really interesting ideas that are represented here. The Bond Eye allows players to see visual avatars of other players and send them messages or trade and battle requests. This feature, akin to the Miiverse function in Nintendo Land, will be the first of its kind on 3DS. Kind of cool. Pair of sunglasses that allows players to see the nature of wild Pokemon and their capture rate.
Thank God.
I'd be so okay with that.
Yeah.
The new generation consists of 99 new Pokemon, many of them baby Pokemon, and new evolutions of current Pokemon. I'm okay with this. And then, it talks about how Sylveon, we've talked about, we might not have talked about Sylveon, but new evolution of Eevee. Apparently the only new evolution of Eevee, according to this rumor. And it would be just a normal type.
Which is what we need.
Yeah.
I can't stop thinking about those glasses.
It's those glasses.
It's like sunglasses that reveal their nature. So, could those work in like normal people?
Oh,
You put on those glasses and you look over and you just like someone's just kind of blurred out and just says "prick" over them.
The prick nature.
oh.
Those sunglasses would probably ruin society or make it better, but probably ruin it.
Need a catch rate on women.
Oh dear. That's going in a whole different territory.
What kind of moves do I need to put on them? Paralysis, got it. Okay.
Oh.
She's just so drunk at the bar, like 90%. Okay.
Yeah.
Please don't try to make a sleep powder joke.
Oh,
Talking
gosh,
about
what else is?
progressive kid commercials.
Anyway.
Well, there's also talk of time travel 30 years in the past and future, different characters, younger versions of current characters, different layouts, different wild Pokemon.
It's
That'd
your
be
kids, Red.
interesting. He married a black man. I'm okay with that. Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't think we should see each other anymore, Doc.
Not comfortable around you.
The legendary Pokemon rumored. Of course, we know Xerneas and Evital. Xerneas, Psychic and Rock, according to this rumor. Evital, Ghost and Flying, as opposed to Ghost and Dragon for...
It sounds like a medicine.
Yeah, it's awkward to say. Along with 4 black and white Pokemon based on card suits. A Cobra with a heart-shaped hood and tail. A Tiger with diamond patterns. A T-Rex with spade-shaped eyes.
Yo!
And a Peacock with a club-shaped tail. Also supposing new type combinations, fire and ice, dark and electric. Badass. And then finally, one of the last ones here. The final evolutions of the starter Pokemon. Chespin, Froakie, and the fire one is F. Oh my gosh.
Yes, Fire Psychic.
Fen. Oh my god. What is it called?
It's called Fire Psychic.
Oh my! It is Fire Psychic. Yeah, the Fen. Blah, 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 blah. Final evolutions: type grass and flying, fire and psychic, and water.
Are you trying to talk about Fennekin?
Fennekin, that's the one. Thank you. I knew it was like Fen something. Yes, Fennekin, that's the one. I don't know. Froakie just evolves into a water type. I'm not.
That's pretty lame.
The one thing that a lot of people are noticing on the distribution or redistribution of the rumor anyway, main characters are Jean and Jane, or Jean and Jane, since it's
Jean.
French.
Oh,
Those French. We should have tangented that or segued that better.
Just makes me think of Martian Manhunter.
Names are non-customizable.
Okay.
Yeah. Of the Pokemon or the character?
Character.
The trainer.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I don't. I'm not crazy about that.
I think about it, I'm just kind of like, yeah, it probably could work really well, honestly. I mean, Yoko, you've kind of run into an issue of when you name your character yourself, because they keep talking about the hero Yoko.
Oh yes.
Here you go talking around as Yoko. It's a very popular name.
I would kind of like it if they did that more, just for the game's lore. But
I suppose, but that's kind of not what Pokemon's based off of. So there's that. And then the team would be.
I always name it myself too.
The team would be Team Gear. Giaru, whose members wear purple bodysuits with black clock hands on them. They mess with events in the past that affect the present.
Yeah.
If a lot of these are true, I'm totally okay with this. That's a funny picture that Tony posted in our Skype chat.
Oh yeah, I put it in the live stream too.
Nerf herder. It's Nerf.
Man, Facebook's only funny images now for me.
That's pretty true. Pretty true.
Get on Twitter, everybody.
Back on the PS4, it won't support the 4K games, but it will support 4K media, and 3D is not a focus. Thank goodness.
So they're not stupid.
So that's good.
This time, I guess, I should say.
In the Nintendo Direct for Japan, the Oracle games for Legend of Zelda were announced to be coming to 3DS Virtual Console. No American release confirmed yet. Aonuma says eventually in time. Exciting for that.
What were you groaning at?
I wasn't groaning. I was more or less I was groaning, but I was groaning at the fact that I don't have a 3DS and I want those.
Yeah, well, you got a while because it's just, yeah.
Well, maybe when you get it, it'll be out in America.
I lost my first GBA. I don't know what happened to it, but my Oracle of Ages was in it, and it makes me sad.
Oh.
Now you get to redeem yourself in a way.
So before we go to the next one, because I want it to be last, PlayStation All Stars new characters got announced from. We got Isaac from Dead Space and Zeus from God of War.
Cool, and then why?
My exact reaction. Isaac from Dead Space, cool. I think it's a good choice. Good to get that involved. Here's what I think why they included Zeus. It's called marketing. And that's a really terrible reason for a fighting game. But then again, it's a fighting game that has kind of underachieved. The reason is that if you buy, according to what I've been reading, if you buy God of War Ascension, this DLC comes free for PlayStation Battle Royale.
Well,
You
okay,
sounded
then,
like
Yoko.
you sounded like this kid from South Park who was trying to sell Jimmy steroids. That's a very specific reference to use those of you who get it.
Okay.
Hey Jimmy, we want some steroids?
I do.
It did.
Zeus on his own. There are so many other choices. Why Zeus?
So does Isaac get to cut people's limbs off?
That'd be awesome.
Oh God.
Just use the line gun and just everyone's gone.
No, all he does is just stomp. He just stomps
Yes.
everyone.
You know,
That's
every button is stomp.
Then he has that one, like his taunt is his arm flail attack.
Serious though, I mean Seth Killian walked through these characters, so there are videos out there talking about these characters.
The hell's his taunt gonna be? Everyone kind of is silly in that game. Like, what's his appearance gonna be?
I was gonna say something, but it's spoilers for the first game, so.
Well, it's been out a while.
Where's my wife?
They didn't get married. Poked a hole in that.
Thanks, Tony.
And they
ruining the fun.
They couldn't because Nicole is dead.
Oh, okay. Is that why?
Well, it's a large universe. I'm sure they could go to like Space Alabama.
Whoa. Okay. Anyway, moving on.
Did someone say shirt? Space Alabama?
Uh,
Game Buddy might be from Space Alabama.
Space Buddy?
Space Buddy. Sorry, Jeremy. And the final story, Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 Remix is heading west.
Okay.
Cool.
I'm so happy.
I mean, we kind of saw this when, what's his face? Is it
The
Jesse
dude who does this.
Who does Roxas? Is that Jesse
Not
McCartney?
Mm.
I think so.
Yeah.
Or yeah, it's Roxas.
Jesse
You guys
McCartney
are
is
the
Roxas.
voice acting
David
guys.
Gallagher is Riku. And David Gallagher was the guy from Seventh Heaven. Jesse
Not the guy
McCartney
who slams
is
watermelons.
God
There
damn
you
it,
go.
Super. I wanted to do that.
Thank goodness it's Final Mix coming to America, and they're not changing it again. So
Yeah, I know. I'm super stoked to play Final Mix.
I'm more excited for the hopeful 2.5 remix
Oh, dude, yeah.
with 2 Birth by Sleep and Dream Drop Distance. Even though I've played all those games, like to have those games in HD on PS3 or PS4 or whatever, yes please.
Yeah, I know you weren't as into 1, but I still think 1 was a better designed game.
I'll still
And I
probably
just-
get this one.
Oh, yeah.
Just to upgrade.
And for story's sake, because,
I don't know.
like, I'm not going to play Chain of Memories because, I mean, I just don't like that kind of game feel. But I'm happy to have the cutscenes in HD on YouTube.
Well, is that the game? Which game is? I think it's 358 Days Over 2 is the game that they're just basically playing a long movie for that game.
Yeah, I know, but Chain of Memories I'm not going to play, but the story is still important.
Is that the card-based one?
Yeah.
That's dumb.
I
What
played
about
it.
it?
I liked it.
I'm not saying it's bad, because I'm sure it's designed fine.
I'm
I
sure.
just couldn't
yeah,
get
it's
into it.
fine,
I'm
yeah.
like, I just played a whole, 40-hour game where I whack stuff with the Keyblade, and it's like, use numbers now. And I'm like, oh.
I don't know. I just more than half the time I was just kind of throwing a bunch of high tiered cards together. So no matter what, I'd always have like this winning combination if someone tried to throw at something bad at me. It's like I'm gonna use this giant attack. No, eat my single sword strike that somehow kills your best attack.
It's weird. Another thing that got me with that game when I was kind of watching it is none of the first world mattered because you were in Twilight Town and they were kind of explaining how the game went. all the Disney World stories were inconsequential, so you really didn't need to see them.
That's
It's
true.
because they were like memory weaved like recreations. They did not matter in the least in Sword. No one remembers them after the fact. So all you really need to see is the stuff when they're like going up the stairs in between the Disney worlds,
Mhm.
which is important. I think a lot of people were like, "Oh, I'm just gonna play 2," and they were a little confused. But there was a lot of stuff that, like when I went 1 to 2 back in high school when I was watching them, I did not understand. There's a lot of Riku Mickey stuff that you miss because they do remember the events of the games, and it does matter. Even though that whole storyline is convoluted as hell overall, but
Yes,
if
it
you want to
is.
try, you do need to see it. There's a thing at the end of Birth by Sleep that ties to it too.
Yeah,
And that
that's
was
true.
really cool.
I'm trying to see if they actually posted when. We don't have a release date,
Not yet, no.
but this autumn. So look around September-ish.
Another little thing about Final Mix 2 when that does come out is in Chain of Memories you fight the organization members that you don't fight in 2.
Oh, that's right.
And it's like card games, but in 2 there's a room where you can fight all the organization members in 2
Card
style.
games on motorcycle.
Yeah, and you won't have to deal with the cards, but they're all like really ridiculously hard too. They got like 800 health bars.
Yeah,
Because
because it's Kingdom Hearts.
I love Kingdom Hearts.
Out recently, Crisis 3,
It's a
and
thing.
nobody really cared.
It's a thing.
I'll have more on Crytek in my soapbox coming up soon. Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance.
And Tyranny of King Washington. I want to talk about Revengeance a bit. I have not seen the ending.
Mm-hmm.
I
I hear
heard
it's
it was-
crazy. Yeah.
I hear it's inconsequential. The story was just. I played it, and I said like on the PlayStation thing that I was gonna kind of rip this game a little bit. I don't think it's bad in retrospect. I just kind of ended up watching Nate play most of it because I just wasn't into it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's fun. First off, the game doesn't tell you how to do anything,
What?
like at all. You can do a lot, but it does not tell you how to do it. There's menus and stuff, and I don't know how I feel about that because on one hand, games just kind of tell you everything nowadays, but then you get your ass kicked because you don't know what you're doing. So I don't know the balance. There's an argument to be had with that, but it was neat. I thought the story is just whatever. It's fun. It's crazy. There's some line readings and stuff. Somebody made a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles reference. There was a lot of weird, like, what is this Metal Gear kind of thing,
Yeah.
The bad guy is beating the hell out of you at the end, and he's just giving this crazy speech, which I felt like they probably wrote the script, and then they were like, oh yeah, this is a Metal Gear game.
Mhm.
And just one of my favorite things ever, Ryan just goes, what the hell are you talking about? And I'm just like, somebody probably should have said that to a villain at some point in this series already.
Yeah. No, that's true. I hear
But,
the boss is very Fox News like at the end.
Yeah.
I also hear the same thing for Devil May Cry, the DMC reboot.
Oh, there's a Bill O'Reilly fight.
Yeah.
There's like no. He says like we're doing it live at one point too. That's the most unsubtle thing I've ever seen in a game. Probably.
Wow.
DMC's
I like-
another. Go ahead.
I like how video games are just basically turning Fox News into their villains.
Go for it.
It's just, it's like we need a villain. Who's an idiot on Fox News right now? Well, who isn't? All right.
You know what the best thing about it is? It's not
What?
American developers. It's Japanese developers like, Fox News.
Mm,
But it's all right. I kind of wish there was more familiar story elements just for fan service's sake.
Mhm.
Sonny shows up. That was cool.
Yeah.
But it was very isolated, which is good or bad depending on how you see it. There's a character named Doctor.
Yeah.
That made me laugh every time.
Doc.
Like, Doctor. He's just Doctor, but Doctor.
Dr.
and the-
Jan Itor.
There's that other thing where, you know how Kojima has, like, those little subtle things in his trailers?
Yeah.
Just like an element of the game. This one just had cut. And Nathan was just cutting through a bunch of guys. And I'm like, remember when that trailer said, like, cut? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, I wonder what that meant. He's like, I don't know. I don't think we're far enough.
Here's the real question: did you cut watermelon?
I don't think so.
Why?
I don't think we saw watermelon.
You need to search better.
Yeah, no.
Wow.
Cut everything
I'm
else up.
kind of disappointed now.
Hmm.
I think there was a point where we didn't know how to open a gate. And he just slashed it open.
You have a sword.
Well, I don't know. We're just thinking like game physics and how like Metal Gear is usually played. And it's just like, oh, cut.
I heard the game's short, like 4 to 6 hours long.
That sounds about right. It's not that big a deal though.
I'm okay with that actually. And again, I'm a
freaking
gamer
hard.
who just
He played it on easy and he had hard. He had a rough time.
really wow.
Prepare for that.
Damn. Okay. And then you mentioned Assassin's Creed 3: Tyranny of George Washington.
You already kind of covered it.
Already kind of covered it. Yep. So let's get to the soapbox. We got about an hour into the show, so my soapbox is an article from Gamnesia that says Crytek
Gamnesia?
says offline single player has to go. This is a quote from Crytek CEO Servatierli to IGN that says, and quote, I think the notion of a single-player experience has to go away. However, I'm not saying that there will be no single-player experiences. It could be called connected single-player, or online single-player instead. Online and social can reignite single-player in a new type of context and provide benefits that will make you want to be a part of the connected story mode rather than a disconnected story mode. Sure, if the technology forces you to play a traditional single-player game online, that doesn't make sense, but if it's offering actual benefits to be online, then you want to be a part of it. I don't want anything to do with this, and I hope this is more of a statement of how he's going to take his company, rather than a projection of what the entire game industry should do. More or less, when it comes to, online multiplayer and all that, people suck. I'm so happy right now just to play a game like Okami, where I can experience the cinematic story and just take in what the game's creators had envisioned for that story. Or a game like I'm also playing Zero Escape, Virtue's Last Reward. Very narrative-heavy game. There is no need for online aspects of that game. And sure, maybe you might have online benefits, like if you had, say Persona 4 Golden, where you had the Vo Populi feature or voice, where you had, connect to online and see what other players did for this day in the game. That's okay, but I don't want like a Journey experience or I guess a Destiny experience in every single game. I think you totally miss the point of what video games can do to be a unique media form. And just to say that, oh yeah, all games need to be online because online and social is the way of the future and it's how everyone wants to play. Not everyone.
No, I've never disagreed with the statement on the gaming industry more.
I think it's a pretty ridiculous claim. And again, like if he wants to do it for his company because they've been all about the graphics and then it turns out, oh, Crysis isn't that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things in the first-person shooter market. Good. I mean, Crytek does great stuff with graphics. But if you want your company to go and be social with all this stuff, have at it. But just to say that it has to go on a grand scale for the industry like he's implying here, GTFO. It's my soapbox. My soapbox. Tony.
There are people at like when I worked at Best Buy who are like, yeah, Uncharted was good, but I didn't like the online. I'm like, the what?
Exactly.
Like I forgot. Like
Yep.
I forgot.
How did you forget? $5.
Oh yeah, there's that. And there was just the bit with I would like stop talking to people when I'm trying to sell them things. It's like, yeah, Metal Gear is pretty cool. You should check out the HD collection. Oh, how's the multiplayer on it? And I just
my god.
It's like,
Just like fucking.
how's the multiplayer on your movie? Did you enjoy the movie that you saw over the weekend? You'll like this.
Do you like the kill death ratio?
Yeah.
Is that what you're all about?
Soapbox, I guess. I don't know if I'm gonna stick with this 100%, but I'm getting into Pokemon a lot more.
Yeah.
I like bought
Really?
Soul Silver because like Nathan and Quentin are playing it, and I'm like, I want to play. plus X and Y are coming out, so I'm gonna be
You
ready
picked a
for it.
good one to get back into.
Yeah, I mean, I feel super like dumb because I had Soul Silver. I actually bought it for the Pokecast that you asked us to be on a while back.
Oh yeah.
Like impromptu, I'm like, yeah, we'll be on the Pokecast like before we were regulars, and we're like, dude, we got it, even though we don't know.
Dude, that was think about it. That was episode 58.
Oh dear.
God,
We've done more than double the episodes since then.
it gives me a headache.
That's
and
been a while.
I think I had Diamond, and I had all the Pokemon that I would want to trade to play again. I probably would have just deleted Soul Silver and started over because I didn't play that as much, and I wanted a Shinx, and I got my Shinx, and I wanted a Vulpix early, but yeah, but I did get a Vulpix on the file because when I bought the game, it had a bunch of Pokemon already on it, which is always a little treat.
Well, can I say Vulpix evolves into Ninetales, and then when I see an enemy in Okami called Ninetales, I'm like,
Oh yeah,
God damn it, what?
Oh no. I'm so
Yeah, that was-
sorry.
did that freak you out when you started to try to draw on her?
Yeah.
That other paintbrush just shows up, and you're like, oh.
Mm. Yeah,
That's really-
especially when, like, I mean, I got Blizzard, the last brush, but I expected it to be that X and then horizontal line, like she was casting on me. I'm like, oh, I'll get that later. That's freezing me. That's Blizzard. That's got to be what it is. Not the connect a line from ice to this. That's a random tangent. I'm sorry.
No, because you get powered up moves to that stuff later.
Right, but
Like for a lot of them, and I think that's.
well,
part of
I got the
this.
wind and the fire ones.
Yeah, I don't know if I got the ice one, but oh yeah, Pokemon.
Yeah, right.
I traded over. I got 2 Vulpix, one for Nate because he had gold. You can't find gold anywhere, by the way. Like at stores. Like I don't know why
Really?
that's the case. Yeah, it's usually all silver.
Maybe in your area. Okay, that's interesting.
I don't know. I thought he had trouble finding it online too. I don't know. That might be true too.
Exo, who's our Okami expert, says there's no side quest for Blizzard.
Oh, that's weird.
That's interesting. They kind of don't really tell you, and I don't remember getting a scroll for it.
Just try it out, I guess. But I traded a Vulpix over, and it doesn't know Ember.
Oh,
As it was like level 14, and I guess when it just picks random moves as it grows, that wasn't one it kept. So it's like useless.
well, no, there's actually, logistics to it. Ember's probably one of the basic ones it starts off with, but yeah, probably when you have a high level Pokemon or just like a Pokemon at a level, it has its last 4 learned moves, and if it learned a new one, it automatically deleted the oldest one.
Damn.
That's probably what happened. That sucks.
Because
What does it have?
I don't know. It doesn't have a whole lot. It's got Roar and
Confused Ray, probably. Roar's awful.
yeah, it had like Roar and Quick Attack and 2 other. It has Will-O-Wisp. It doesn't have Fire Spin either.
Fire Spin's a later level move, yeah, but
Roar is awful until you get like something like Stealth Rock. And then you can start being a real big dick about it.
that's true.
Yeah.
Throw out Stealth Rock. Roar, 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 roar. Their entire team's dead.
There was a few things. I think it did learn Fire Spin earlier, and it just doesn't. I don't know what the deal is, but it has nothing. So I'm just kind of waiting to get to a later level. My Shinx is cool though.
Shinx
He's
is pretty cool.
Like he's one of those that was new that I just I caught the little Shinx, and I'm like, oh, I wonder what happens with this guy. He just turned into Luxray, and I'm like, I love this thing.
In Soul Silver here?
Yeah, I got it, and I used the Sinnoh radio on that file
Oh wow, cool.
that had. I got really lucky with that too. 'Cause
It's such a disconnect just to think like, oh, Shinx in Johto. Like,
And yeah, Johto, but I wanted it. And also, Shinx and Vulpix wouldn't listen to me until I got the first badge. 'Cause they were like level 17.
that's fine.
And now I got to be very careful with Shinx because I'm probably going to get rid of the Vulpix where it's like I got to train him to like level 19 and stop before I get the next badge.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You should probably just keep Vulpix around because like Vulpix learns Flamethrower really quickly.
No, it doesn't.
Level 24, isn't it?
I looked and I didn't see it on Wikipedia like at all.
I see Soul Silver level up Flamethrower level 24.
Okay. Maybe I will. I don't know. I'll figure it out later. Link me that actually. But yeah, that's what I've been doing.
That's awesome. Yay, Pokemon.
Yay. Now we're gonna be a lot more busy. So, Super, what are you up to?
Anyone remember Battle Block Theater?
No.
No? It's probably because we haven't seen it in 2 years, and before that we hadn't seen it in 2 years. Literally, it's from Behemoth Games.
Ah, they're the Castle Crashers people.
That's right. It's the third game. They made Alien Hominid, they made Castle Crashers, and then for the last forever, they've been working on Battle Block Theater. And they finally have a release window
Ooh.
this spring. And the game looks fun as hell, but I just wanted to bring it up because it's just kind of like, I forgot this existed for a good 2 years.
Yeah.
Because, like, the last time we heard about it, it was, I think, March 2011. We finally saw the opening cinematic and the trailer. Which
I
you
haven't
can't.
heard of it. I'm actually have to look this one up then.
Yeah,
I didn't know about that at all. Actually, I didn't know
It's
they had an
another-
opening cinematic.
Yeah, it's another. This opening cinematic's 2 years old. Yeah, but they recently released the information that it's coming out, and I believe it's all available on their. You can watch all their videos on their YouTube. Trying to get the name of the YouTube.
Hmm.
It's literally the Behemoth, but the O in it is a 0.
What kind of game is it?
It's a 4-player game, and you basically try and get through these. God, it's this weird platformer game that's really. You just have to see it in action, but the main idea is it's 4 players. You try to get through these stages that are a lot like Super Meat Boy in a sense.
Huh.
There's teleporters, and there's wall jumping, and all these other really cool things. And one of the most funny things about it is you can literally punch the crap out of your allies. And
That's
sometimes that's what you need to do to get the angle of which they need to fall.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We're gonna play that.
Yeah.
I'll get that on Xbox for once.
The most recent trailer, after the end, it just says, "For real this time."
Hmm.
That's nice.
Yeah. But yeah, it's finally on its way out.
Think of how long freaking Castle Crashers has been out. That was our last game.
Wow. That's a while ago.
Oh yeah.
I'm still kind of sad that there was no DLC for Castle Crashers, because I'm just kind of like, that's a game that is just needs DLC. It looks like it's be so easy to implement
Hmm.
because there's side-scrolling stages. You make up some new characters, you throw in a small story, and from the starting point at the castle, you could go left on the world map.
It's
You've
true.
got a dragon there that's going hellos.
Mhm.
From-
Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do.
Yeah, that's the only song I really liked in that game.
Yeah.
Space Pirates is what it's called.
Huh.
Oh, you guys are not remembering the Ice World theme then.
No, he's doing the forest.
I know. I said you guys aren't remembering the Ice World theme, which is amazing and great.
I need to play it again. My music
I only
tastes-
got so far.
Yeah. Yeah!
Anywho, our thought this week is if you could take one game with you to a desert island, which would it be? If you just, if electricity was no consequence, you just play one game as you're stranded on an island all by yourself.
Do I
it
have
doesn't
online?
say- It doesn't say that you're all by yourself. Because
A desert island.
It's a desert island, not deserted island. Jeez.
Okay.
But I don't know. I think we should come up with a single player experience with online, and a multiplayer one.
It was more than I was expecting, but
Making you think.
oh no.
If it was a single player game with multiplayer, I'd probably go with something like. I'd actually think probably just Halo 4. Because that's. I don't know how long I'm going to be on this island, but I'll probably. If I'm alone on this island, I'll probably die before Halo 5 comes out, so no big deal. But.
She won't
If I
look
have,
for food
if
because
I
you'll
have
be playing
online.
Halo.
Yeah, if I'm on an online multiplayer, I can send messages going, "Help me! I'm on a deserted island. Send help." Plus, they also have their Spartan Ops thing, so I can just keep on, getting new content via that very slowly. Unless, of course,
Because apparently this island has Wi-Fi.
apparently, maybe I have one of those little satellite USB things. I can just hook into the back of the Xbox. My grandma had one of those.
So if you have that,
Yes.
don't call for help. Just play games.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Yoko,
They
if he
think
if he
you
sent
have.
me a message on Xbox saying like I'm trapped on a desert island, I wouldn't believe him because he's playing Xbox.
I'd be like, for reals, yo, this is for reals, man. Help.
Also, you'd be screwed because I don't get on my Xbox anymore.
Yeah, I would send a message.
Multiplayer game?
Multiplayer game, Project M, no problem. No, if I have other people there with me, it's Project M.
Yeah, I'd probably have to go with that one too.
Yeah, I was gonna say multiplayer. I wasn't considering multiplayer, but Smash, like any Smash, but Project M's a very good choice.
Like if we were Gilligan's Island and we had Smash, I think we'd be all right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna combine my single player with multiplayer, and I'm gonna flash right back to Tony's soapbox. I'm gonna say Pokemon Soul Silver.
That's probably a really good idea because you can go through that in a number of ways.
And you can just train Pokemon to be the very best, like no one ever was, endlessly.
Yeah, I guess. I'm just trying to think of, it's like, if I have no online aspect, I want a single player game that I can keep playing through and not get horribly, horribly sick of. And
That's the thing, yeah.
I suppose Pokemon would be a good one, but 200 hours in, it's still 200 hours in, but at the same time, I'm just like, kind of like to do something else for a change.
Well, too bad, because it's a one game on a deserted island, and that's why you also have your multiplayer game.
I'll
Yes.
get gold, and that'll be my both, and then I'll trade with you on the other island. We'll get
There you
everything.
go, because we've got Wi-Fi.
Yeah, so we can do that, I guess.
Oh, hey, Tony, what's up? Not much on a deserted island, you? Oh, same, man. Can't do that.
We'll just pick no chat.
So did a Wind Waker thing happen here? Are we just sitting on mountaintops and the rest of the world is an ocean? Is that what's going on?
It's Wind Waker, yeah.
Can I make another Okami tangent?
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
sure.
Wind Waker gameplay?
What part?
Cool. It was on the Watcher's Cape, and you had to, what's his name? The big fish
The
that-
big fish.
that ferried you around the different islands.
Oh, that?
That made me happy.
When did the big fish do that?
Orca.
Wind Waker?
That's right, Orca.
Yeah,
His
but
name is
when,
the big fish.
his name's Orca. That was creative. When was that Wind Waker?
Like that with a boat.
Oh, because if Super did it, me and him would think Paper Mario won every time because I did.
Yep.
I'm like, well, I'm gonna go to the Yoshi Island. That's all I can think of.
Mm-hmm.
The
I
big
don't know.
tuna.
With just the whole Zelda comparison, it felt Wind Waker. Anyway, because you mentioned Wind Waker, I'm like,
Yeah.
Okami.
Part of me even wants to. Part of me would even maybe pick Banjo Tooie, but I feel like I'd get sick of that after a while. But I speedrun that one a lot, and I really liked it. But probably Pokemon, yeah.
Oh man, you could have talked with our potential guest all about it because of his episode.
Oh yeah, bears. Don't do that if he's on the show.
Bears, yeah. We're not.
Don't do that if he's on the show because I don't think he likes it. Because people probably just shouted at him. I like that he pointed out in that episode that it's not even a joke. They just say bears.
I think they handled it really well.
They did. It's Rebs.
Wait a minute, you just said bears backwards.
Sir,
I think that's all we have on our outline.
That's right.
Been an interesting couple weeks. We have What Are You Playing Next week? A lot of games to cover there. Will we hear more information about the Xbox reveal? Will a date be set for that?
Xbox.
Xbox.
Yeah, that's all I think now. Did you see that Peanut Butter Gamer Dead Space 3 thing?
No.
He's like, also, I hear it's better with Kinect. Just all the reviewers had to say that. And then it just cut to him, like, eating chips, holding a controller. Xbox. Get that item, Xbox. Kill all the Necromorphs, Xbox. And he's like, I did it.
Yeah. That's pretty funny. Guys, anything else coming up the next couple weeks for you guys?
Rachel's going to be on What Are You Playing, apparently.
Apparently, yes.
She's like, Tony, can I be on? And I'm like, yeah. And then I was like, why are you asking me?
Because you're handling the guests, it seems.
Apparently, I guess.
Uh-huh.
But, like, oh, okay.
There you go. I don't know. I've got a tournament coming up in April.
You got tournaments like every weekend. I text you now. Like,
It's-
what are you doing? You're like,
I told you I was gonna, focus on tournaments. I've given up Brawl, by the way.
Makes
Did I ever
sense.
did I ever mention that?
No.
Yeah, I was.
Happens sooner or later. It's okay.
I was playing at the monthly tournament that I tend to go to, and I was playing this guy named Hyde, which always makes me laugh, considering that on screen I see Super and Hyde, and those are both of my internet names. Those are both
It
my
is?
aliases. Yeah. Don't you ever pay attention to Skype when I speak. I've got those two names right there. But yeah, that always entertains me. But like I was winning pretty
Oh,
hard. And
I've probably stared at that for a year.
yeah, it's been like that for a year.
That's
Yeah, I
amazing.
was winning pretty hard, and then I just
That's
kind of
not fair.
stopped. I just kind of stopped after like I got him with a tippered forward smash to punish his ledge get up on the stage, and that's pretty cool. You feel good. I read it, I spaced it, I killed this guy at like 60%,
Yeah.
and then I stopped and go, I'm not having fun. This was not fun. Like all of the work that I've had to put into this game, and that wasn't fun. I don't care anymore. So like in the next match, I just went Mario to see if I could still have fun with him, and I wasn't. And I just like, okay, Brawl, we're done. And then the very next week, I entered my first Melee tournament and took 5th out of 25.
Very good.
Nice.
I mean, you have been playing a lot of Project M, and then you went eye to eye with Allie.
Yep, I beat Ellie's Falcon. It took me a couple games, but I finally kind of got into the idea, the matchup, because I never played a Falcon with Wario, and I beat him. So when I met him in tournament, he went
said
Ike.
Wario. Is that the only one who heard Wario?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I said Wario because I played Wario.
In Melee?
It's Project M.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Project M.
I'm totally not any help when you text me either. You're like, oh, I'm finding Allie, and I'm like, drunk or sober Allie? Or hi Allie, I guess.
That would be Lane.
Yeah.
Oh.
different Smashers.
God, I don't know anything. Dr. Pee-Pee.
It's
Nope.
funny to think of Drunk Allie, though.
For the rest of the tournament, a lot of people were showing up with a lot of alcohol.
Cool.
Yes, but no, I beat Allie's Falcon. He kept complaining about how jank characters Wario was, and then he went Ike.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, what a character, that Ike.
Yeah, it's kind of like I'm not getting past Ike, but I got trashed by him and Zanotto. Zanotto's he plays Melee. He plays Dr. Mario, so in Project Melee, he plays Mario, and it's kind of scary. I kind of wish that I'd gone Sheik for both of our for both those matches, because my Sheik does much better against a lot of.
I'm surprised you didn't.
Here's my truly honest. I wanted videos of my Wario and my Sonic so I could get critique from Wizrobe and the Reflex Wonder, or Reflex as he's known.
Yes.
So, like, I didn't. It's like I really don't focus on Sheik too much, but now that I've actually played Melee and I enjoyed myself a lot, I think I might be looking into Sheik a bit more.
Cool.
So it's all a bunch of fun.
Yay. Gosh, I think there's really nothing else you have to cover. So
No, I need to get going.
yeah, get going to your new
Go job.
work, Tony.
Go job.
Congrats on having a second job. That's awesome.
Go gadget job.
I hate the first few days of not knowing what the hell to do though.
Mhm.
So uncomfortable.
Yeah, coming from a guy who got the job of a host. Oh my, you don't know what to do.
No, it's not that bad, but other
See, I
jobs.
find it funny because when I go to Logan's, the host's inconsequential for me. We just go sit at the bar, the
Yeah,
bar
I know.
top, and it's like, oh no, we're going to the bar top. Thanks, okay,
Mm.
and that's it.
And with that,
With that, I am Yoko,
I'm super.
I'm Tony.
and we're out, and I'm hungry.
Show me your news.
Okay. We had it scheduled for 4 today, and I hadn't been in too extensive contact with him, probably just because he's busy as hell because he updates 20-minute episodes a week. But pretty much, I ended up getting a job 2 days ago, and they just scheduled me all weekend, so we kind of got screwed with that. So I just told him we'd do it another time, pretty much.
Yeah.
And hopefully he'll be open to it. It's kind of a bummer we had it planned out like that, and it just, yeah. I don't want to fight it too much because I just got the job and I want to keep it, so.
No, you do want to keep that job
Oh, yeah.
at Logan's, which I want to have Logan's this weekend now, just in celebration of you getting your job.
Yeah, totally. It's totally easy, too. I mean, I need to learn all the table numbers, but beyond that, it's pretty cake.
But yeah, Gerard is. We got to have some better way of contact with him and hope that works out for the future. It can't be today, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But we've had a really good string of guests up until this point for this year so far, so we kind of deserve a little break just to have us chill and talk.
Yeah.